On December 25, 1929, Charles Davis Charlie Lawson was an American mass murderer and family annihilator who murdered almost everyone in his family on. Charlie Lawson murdered his wife and 6 of their 7 children before killing himself in Stokes County. Charles Davis Lawson was born on May 10, 1886. His parents raised him in Lawsonville, North Carolina. In 1911, he married Fanny Manring, and the two would go on to have 8 children. Marie in 1912, Arthur in 1913, William in 1914, Carrie in 1917, Mabel in 1922, James in 1925, Raymond in 1927, and Mary Lou in 1929. When 2 of Lawson's younger brothers moved to the Germantown area in 1918, he followed suit with his family. William died of an illness in 1920. The Lawsons worked as tobacco farmers, and by 1927, they had saved enough money to buy their own farm on Brook Cove Road. Lawson family portrait. Left to right, top, Arthur, 19, Marie, 17, Charles, 43, Fanny, 37, holding baby Mary Lou. Bottom, James, 4, Mabel, 7, Raymond, 2, Carrie, 12. In 1929, days prior to Christmas, Charles Davis Lawson, age 43, took Fanny, his wife, age 37, and their 7 children, Arthur, age 19, Marie, age 17, Carrie, age 12, Mabel, age 7, James, age 4, Raymond, age 2, and Mary Lou, age 4 months, into town to buy new clothes and to have a family portrait taken. This would have been an unusual occurrence for a working-class rural family of the era, which has led to speculations that Lawson's act was premeditated. Posthumously, it was speculated that he had impregnated his eldest daughter, Marie, 17, Lawson, having purchased his own farm 2 years previous. However, together with the fact that an Associated Press wire that went out on the day after the murders characterized Lawson as a well-to-do farmer, would make a pre-Christmas shopping spree appear reasonable. On the afternoon of December 25th, Lawson first shot his daughters, Carrie and Mabel, as they were setting out to their uncle and aunt's house. He waited for them by the tobacco barn until they were in range, shot them with a 12-gauge shotgun, then ensured that they were dead by bludgeoning them. He placed the bodies in the tobacco barn. Afterwards, Lawson returned to the house and shot Fanny, who was on the porch. As soon as the gun was fired, Fanny was on the porch when Lawson shot her. Marie, who was inside the house, screamed. James and Raymond attempted to hide. Lawson entered the house and shot Marie before finding the boys, shooting them as well. Finally, he beat Mary Lou to death. He then gathered the bodies and arranged each family member with their arms crossed and placed rocks under their heads before disappearing back into the woods. After the murders, he went into the nearby woods and, several hours later, shot himself. The only survivor was his eldest son, 19-year-old Arthur, whom he had sent on an errand just before committing the crime. The bodies of the family members were found with their arms crossed and rocks under their heads. The gunshot signaling Lawson's own suicide was heard by the many people who already had learned of the murders on the property and gathered there. One of Lawson's brothers and his wife were the first to discover the bodies. They had been hunting and decided to stop by to wish the family a Merry Christmas. News of the massacre quickly spread in the small town. Meanwhile, Arthur was picked up from the store by police. A few hours later, Arthur, the police, and everyone else at the house suddenly heard a gunshot from the woods. They traced the source and discovered Lawson, who had committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. Letters addressed to his parents were found near his body. Footprints encircled a tree, indicating that he had been walking around in circles for an unspecified period of time. Aftermath. It remains unknown why Lawson suddenly killed his loved ones, as well as why he spared Arthur. Several theories pointing to the motive have popped up, but 2 stand out in particular. The first theory centers around an event that occurred months before the murders, in which Lawson suffered a head injury. It is believed this could have led to a change in his mental state. However, the autopsy did not reveal anything unusual about his brain. The second theory is that Lawson was having an incestuous relationship with Marie. Stella, a relative, said she overheard Fanny's sisters-in-law and aunts, including Jetty, Stella's own mother, discussing how Fanny had told them that she was concerned about incest between Lawson and Marie. Jetty died in 1928, meaning that Fanny had been suspicious of the sexual abuse long before the murders took place. Ella May, one of Marie's closest friends, stated that the latter had told her she was pregnant with Lawson's child. Marie also confided in her that he and Fanny were aware of the pregnancy. Another close friend and neighbor, Hill Hampton, claimed that he knew about serious problems occurring within the family, but he never elaborated on what the issues were. The amount of evidence pointing towards the incest theory indicates Lawson did not want anyone to find out about this, so he murdered his family to cover it up. Lawson and his victims were buried together. A cake that Marie had baked on the day of the murders was carefully put on display as a tourist attraction. Eventually, a relative took it home and buried it. Arthur died in a motor accident in 1945, aged 31, leaving behind a wife and 4 children.